This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
This table is really tilted.
Excuse me? Am I gonna get a chance to speak?
Maybe I should take that back.
Denied. Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Take a giant step for mankind.
Welcome to the Tilted Table with your hosts, Sean and Joe.
Folks, welcome to another episode of the Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fracky Mac.
And we have now entered episode 83.
The Twilight Zone. Let's do it.
Creeping ever so closely to episode 100.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited, man. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what a funfetti cannon is?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yes, I think we need, I will do this for us. I will order us a funfetti cannon on Amazon, and then when we start that episode, we'll shoot it off in this like 10 foot by 10 foot room and take a picture.
Cool, and I'll get some air horns.
I said, your neighbor is going to be, what the heck is going on over there?
What the fuck are they doing?
Is that glitter confetti going off in that room? Oh, so many thoughts. Many thoughts.
Yeah, it'll be a fun episode, and then we're still planning on, getting fucked up.
Well, there's, like anything in life that's important. It's things that you work hard for, and then memories that you want to create. And there's certain moments that you just, it's worth it. You want to like rock that thing out of the park.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I would love to, definitely do the, have a couple of drinks, a couple of shots. Lord knows I got a freaking full liquor cabinet downstairs.
We should do it. Like
most of those bottles aren't even open.
We should do it like on a Tuesday.
I'm not doing it on a Tuesday. Well, I don't know if I'm on vacation. I won't care, but I got a feeling. I haven't looked at the calendar, but I'm sure this is going to land in a space. I might be on summer vacation. I think we're sitting here thinking that this is a lot closer. We're looking at so this is. Wait, what did I just say? This was 83.
Mm-hmm, yep.
So my math is sorely bad. It's 17 weeks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll be in summer. So you could do it any day of the week.
Okay.
Yeah,
sounds good to me.
Tuesday works for me. Whatever day, I don't really care. If I'm on break, I'm just
Tuesday at 9 in the morning, something like that.
I don't care. I'll do it at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's not the first time I've had to drink at 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Got to be able to list that on your resume under skills and accomplishments.
It could be. It could be. I don't know if it's going to get you the job.
It's not the job that you want. It's the job that you need.
It's the job that you.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. Well, anyways, I got something I wanted to throw out at you. I'll try to describe this without babbling on forever. I have a friend, and I say friend, he's a Facebook friend, and he's a musician, lives in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. So this guy's been doing music for at least 25 years, okay. Right? And so he's been posting on his feed a problem that he's having. That he plays these shows at various bars and I guess pubs in the Bay Area. And he's been complaining that people show up and they're not listening to him play and they're having conversations which sort of disrupt the music. Now, he's not a full band. He's kind of an acoustic guitar player type guy, right? So it's not like a loud, fucking full band that people could talk as loud as they want and you can just drown them out with your music.
Right.
And he's just going on these tirades about how just utterly disrespectful this is for people to be talking and not paying attention when he's playing. And I find this to be weird. And as a musician, or at least a former musician, there's really two kinds of gigs that exist. One is you, whether you're in a band or you're solo, whatever it is, and you decide, I'm going to play a show at Club X. And you call Club X and you book this show and you go out and you get your own tickets and you tell everybody like, hey, I'm going to be playing at Club X on Friday night or whatever. And, it's $5, $10, whatever the cover charge would be. Come out and come see me, whatever, whoop-de-woo, right? Then there's the other type of person that plays like this, which is the bar is looking for someone to play. and they just need somebody to, play usually covers. This is, you at this point you wouldn't have actually too much say in what kind of music you play. They're going to tell you, well, we want you to play popular music, right?
All Milli Vanilli all the time.
Yeah, all Milli Vanilli all the time. And, they pay you something. I don't know what these people would make doing this. I don't know what he makes, but that's the kind of musician he is. Mm-hmm. He seems to play mostly these sort of open-ended gigs where a bar needs, somebody to play music. We want live music at the bar. People are going to be coming in and, and hanging out with some guy in the background, jamming and playing some songs that everybody recognizes, and, people can have a good time. But keep in mind that the people that show up to this aren't showing up to see you. You happen to be at the bar or the pub that they're going in to have a drink or whatever they're doing there, and you happen to be the person that's playing. Mm-hmm. Most of the time, these people probably don't even know that there's going to be somebody playing live there. And he comes across, in just my opinion, kind of an asshole. Like imagine it's you, right? You get off work, and your buddies say, hey, we're going to go out to, whatever bar and have a drink for happy hour. And you walk in, you're there to hang out with your friends, chop it up or whatever.
Right.
And some guy's playing music. I didn't know he was going to be here. I don't know who this is. He's playing some, probably some cover songs or whatever. And this dude expects you to shut your fucking mouth and listen to him. And he really believes that these people are just overtly disrespectful. And I'm turning around thinking like, God, you are a fucking absolute, either a narcissist or just a delusional prick. What do you think that people walk into a random bar and is like, all right, I guess this guy's playing, so shut the fuck up and we have to adore him.
Yeah, no, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's extreme narcissism. Because it would be like, I don't go out very often, but say, you say, let's go down to the Tower District and go to Vinny's or something.
Right.
Right. Well, I'm going to hang out with you and I'm going to, have a couple cocktails. There could be somebody else there. Well, you're in my space. I'm not coming to your space.
Right.
Right. So, and you're the important person. They're not important in that moment for that time. So I understand where the person's coming from. Like, I'm an artiste and you should, respect my profession and listen to me and pay attention and be polite and everything. But again, time and place.
Yeah.
It might be the time, it's just not the place.
Well, it's just weird to me because nobody asked for you.
No.
And the other thing is in my head I'm thinking like, if you think that what you're doing is so monumentally awesome and it's brilliant and people should hear it,
then you show up at your own gig.
Right, yeah, right. You should create your own gig and sell tickets.
Yep.
So then you can get people to come there who are explicitly going to the place to see you. Mm-hmm. It's just a weird dynamic. And again, as a musician, and I've done shows, but I have honestly never done that kind of thing where a bar says, "Oh, I need someone to play, cover tunes. Will you be willing to come here?" And between 5 and 8, whatever the time frame would be, mm-hmm. I've never done that. The only shows I've ever played have been specifically like, there is a show going on, and either it's my show, which has never been my show specifically, but there's a show going on. We want you to play, and people are coming there to see the main act,
right, or like a battle of the bands or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
that,
coming.
Right?
Yeah, they're coming here to see this stuff. And even then, I've played gigs where I'm the opening act, and people aren't really paying attention to me. They're not really there to see me. I just happen to be the opening act. Now, generally speaking, most people are kind of paying attention and watching, and it's not because they're, I think, trying to be respectful. They came here to see live music. There's a specific person they want to see, the headliner, mm-hmm. and they're going to pay at least some attention to me because they actually are here to see live music.
Sure.
So they're going to give me at least some attention, right? But not everyone does. Some people are there like, I don't know who that dude is, and they're chopping it up, and it's never bothered me. But mm-hmm. I don't recall ever feeling like it was so damn loud that it's like I'm singing and I'm playing, but nobody can hear me because these guys over here are talking about football or whatever the fuck they're talking about.
Right,
I've never felt that, and I don't think that the person on stage would actually know that, because when you're on stage, it sounds vastly different than what it sounds like out in the audience.
Sure.
And you really, honestly, and I shouldn't say this. I mean, I can hear people, but it's not the same. I don't think I've ever been in a space where even if they are so loud that they're drowning me out, I don't know if I would even notice it. You just, and even if I did, I just fucking play the songs.
Right.
You just work through it.
So in a bigger, better question. So how did you respond to this individual on Facebook?
I didn't. I'm not going to respond to that. But
did others?
Yeah, they did. And this is probably the reason I didn't respond, is they were all, you're 100% right. People are disrespectful, that kind of thing. Nobody called them out and said like, well, come on, man. I mean, like, nobody is going there to see you. they're going there to hang out with their friends. Don't you think that you are asking a bit much for somebody who goes to a place to hang out with their friends to stop whatever it is they're doing, change their plans entirely to listen to some anonymous person that they never paid or came out to see? Like, that's a weird thing. Now, if you think you're so good that, like, that's supposed to be, maybe he's in his head, has some sort of, magical fantasy that, like, yeah, I'm just walking to this bar and, like, what? There's a dude here playing guitar? Whatever. I don't know this dude. And then I'm sitting down having a beer and he's just like hits that first chord, hits those first lines, and I'm just like, hold the fuck up. Like, is that what he's expecting to happen? That he's so good that he's going to capture that kind of attention?
You would have to earn the crowd, right? Or what's the flip side of that? Like, hey, I can't. You're playing your guitar over there in the corner. I can't hear my friend. I came to talk and hang out with my friend.
Can you imagine they said that?
So we're just going to get up and leave, and now you can play it in an empty room.
Oh, that's true.
Right?
What if you turn around and cop the same attitude he had? Like, hey, dude, stop playing. You're fucking up my conversation over here. Have some respect, you prick.
You're at an 11. We can use you at a 2. People, man, it's always something.
So I just find some attitudes fascinating because it just seems like common sense to me. Like, really, and if I wouldn't have brought this up, I'll probably get unfriended. I don't know if this dude listens to. I guess I'm not gonna say his name or whatever, but I gave enough information. He's fucking from the Bay Area.
Hey Dale.
Right? Hey Dale. Right. So, but he's been posting this over and over again. But he's also an older cat that's been doing this for a long. This is his career.
How old is this cat?
If I had to guess his age, he's got to be in his late 50s, maybe even early 60s. This is all he's ever really done. And I mean, when I was living in San Francisco, I played with him a bunch of times, bass guitar. He had like a little trio, and I would play bass in his band. I can't remember whatever he called his band at the time. So this is all he's ever done. And the landscape of music has changed radically. Like when I was in high school and right out of high school, live rock and roll and live instruments, that was the standard. People loved it. Mm-hmm. And people would probably walk into bars and see some random band that they weren't expecting. I didn't come here to see, but they would be like into it. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, let me check them out. And, they play a bunch of songs and you're like, yeah, fuck, who are these dudes? And, after the gig, you're, buying a CD from them or something like that. So I think that was more common back then. But now the landscape of music has changed radically. And again,
unrecognizable.
Yeah, it's like it's not only has the landscape changed, and I don't want to make this an age thing, but frankly, older cats doing this kind of stuff just isn't that popular. Who wants to see some 60-year-old dude sitting up there playing guitar? And again, I don't know what he plays. He may play mostly covers. I'm assuming he does because that sounds like the gigs that he's doing would require covers. That doesn't mean he can't squeeze in originals here and there and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But I doubt if he's playing all originals because when bars hire people to do this stuff, they want to play something that people recognize. That's part of the draw.
Freebird.
Yeah, they want to hear. Yeah, they want to hear Hotel California again, right? So, again, I just don't think that there's a big draw for this. And even if the guy got up there and played originals, I just don't think that you're going to get a bunch of people that are going to just be like, "Oh my God, can I follow you and get your CDs?" And you should. Why aren't you on the radio? Mm-hmm. Like anybody's on the radio anymore.
We're on the radio.
Yeah, we're on the fucking radio. So yeah, I think that's also another thing is that I think he's having a hard time accepting that not only is he passé, that maybe 30 years ago, or maybe longer. Again, he's kind of an older cat. That he would do these kind of gigs and people would pay attention and people probably coming up to him telling him like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. When are you playing next? I'm going to be at the next gig. Mm-hmm. And, 30 years later, even, famous musicians in their 60s aren't pulling the same kind of numbers. You've never been famous. You're just now some old dude in a bar playing some songs. Who the fuck cares about any of this?
Right.
And, of course, the landscape has also changed where I just don't think that people look at music that way. No one's rushing out to Tower Records at midnight for the new release of Band X. Mm-hmm. Just nobody's doing this anymore. It's more disposable than it's ever been.
Well, and it's also kind of sad, too, for this person is they don't realize that they completely missed the window. That ship that didn't just sail. The ship is on the other side of the planet. Like the career that they think that they want or to get discovered or whatever, Like that genre and style of music, it doesn't exist anymore. If anything, you should be, and I'm not throwing rocks, I'm stating facts. If anything, you should just be happy that you have a venue to go and play at.
Yeah.
Right? Because otherwise, that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
You should have a studio at your house and upload to SoundCloud or whatever it is that you want to do. But to have a place to go that's willing to pay you and to have people that are there to even listen or be in, not just listen, exist in the same space where you happen to be playing, like that's its own thing.
Right.
So unfortunately that person, wrong or right place, wrong time. How's that?
Maybe. Yeah, for sure. I understand that. And the other side of that is I have friends that are working musicians. I have a friend that this is all he's ever done. And he plays shows constantly all up and down the Central Coast and all through the Valley. And I think he does fairly well for himself. He's not famous. He's got a pretty solid following, but he's not a dude that shows up just to play a gig at a random place. He puts together his own shows and, gets, his cut of the door, tickets or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so it can be done. And he seems pretty successful at it. And he draws a decent crowd. And I think that, it can be done. I just think that if it was this a situation where it couldn't be done, like I am artist and artist is going to do show and I'm selling tickets and you should come to my show and buy tickets and come see me. If that wasn't possible, that is possible still. And you can, if you're good, you'll draw a crowd. Like I said, the guy I'm talking about, he draws crowds. But if you expect just to be random dude hired by a bar to sit in a corner and play a bunch of, I'm assuming, again, cover tunes, and you expect people to show up acting like they're here to see you, the disconnect is unreal to me.
Well, the key is, you've got to, if this is going to be your reality and something that you want to pursue and enjoy, you need to level up your game. And the secret to that?
What?
Leather zebra print pants. Everyone will remember you. Everyone will tell
for
stories.
all the wrong reasons.
Still, right? Is there such a thing as bad publicity?
No, there is not.
Right?
Yeah, there isn't bad publicity.
That is marketing that you can't pay for.
That is true. That is true.
In the show notes tonight, we'll drop the link to a Temu site where you can buy your own zebra leopard pants.
Yeah, I think that, and I don't want to harp on this, for an entire episode, but I think there is something to be said that probably this cat, and I remember, like I said, I jammed with him when we were in San Francisco, but at the time he was in a band, so they were doing, as I recall, they were doing shows. It wasn't like they were just showing up randomly at a bar, but it's like,
I'm sure the Del Taco drive-thru.
I'm gonna be playing the parking lot of the Arby's. So I think that years ago, I think you could be a random dude playing in a bar and people show up and pay attention. And I still think that he thinks that exists, that world still exists. It's the people that are fucked up or the wrong place, whatever his gripe is. Without thinking, at least from my perspective, I think it's clear that you can't be random dude in a bar playing and think that anyone's going to give a rat's ass about you. And I don't think that's going to happen. Maybe in some rare cases it might happen, but not when you're 60 years old.
No,
especially playing a bunch of old songs. God knows what you're playing.
Yeah, even something as simple as playing musical instruments. If you see artists on stage doing anything these days, or Netflix specials or whatever, they're usually dancing or gyrating or talking to the crowd. They're not playing a musical instrument.
It's true,
right? We're in a different world, different genres, and sitting on a stool strumming your banjo, that's a bygone era.
Yeah, it's a little bit boring.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Leave a like on the video. I know you're enjoying this. Can you shut up?
The internet's answer to a question that was never asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Speaking of bygone eras, I did something today that I'm absolutely thrilled about.
Okay.
I've been waiting for the last 20 years to find it. It pops in my head every once in a while, and I'm like, yeah, man, I really should go back in time to actually see if I could find one of these things. And then, the next shiny thing happens, and I forget that conversation ever popped in my head. So do you remember back in the 90s, maybe 80s, 90s, a lot of times on TV there would be commercials where they would try and get you to do a subscription to whatever it was, right? And it was like, call now and you'll get a free prize, or 1 year subscription is going to be X dollars. If you get 2 year subscription, it's going to be a percentage off and a free gift.
So
dial now.
So you're talking about if you buy the subscription or the service, that you get some kind of free gift with it.
Or there was the option, if you called now and you spent, you bought the 2 year subscription or whatever it was, it gave you the option to buy whatever the prize was or that they were marketing.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I found it today.
Uh-huh.
In mint condition.
Okay, yeah, it better be in mint condition.
The Sports Illustrated sneaker phone.
Okay, so
do you remember that?
Okay, so I do remember this. The special kind of one-of-a-kind things that were related to whatever it is that you were subscribing to.
Yes.
Yeah, I do remember the sports. What is that going for? It's got to be worth money.
I got it on Etsy for like $80.
I thought I would expect it to be worth more. I would expect that to be worth more than the first Air Jordans that came out in mint condition.
I think so. Yeah. Okay, so for the listeners, what this is back in the 80s, Sports Illustrated had this promotional deal where if you got a 2 year subscription, you had to call in on the phone, and then you would use your credit card. So I used my grandparents' credit card, and they had a telephone with a long cord that was you'd actually have to jack it into the wall.
Yeah.
And the phone was a sneaker.
It's a sneaker, yeah.
And it was a white sneaker and in blue writing on the side, where usually it would have like Reebok or Asics or whatever it was, like in a little blue box that said Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
And so if you were to call me, I would reach over on my side table and I would pick up my shoe and I'd put the shoe to my head and we would have a conversation.
So I don't think our audience is that young. You actually explained just an old school telephone.
I know. Well, I know.
I do it all the time in class. I have to point to the phone on the wall, like that thing right there. That's what we had.
Yes, it's kind of like right by our house at the corner. It's non-operational, but there's actually a payphone. Oh,
nice. Yeah. There's a payphone out in the tower. It's still there. I don't know if it works, but the booth is there and the phone's still in there, but it looks rough. So I don't know if it works anymore.
It's great for like photo ops and stuff, but every once in a while I have very nostalgic memories of having my sneaker phone. And whenever you'd have like a rough conversation, when it slammed the phone down, you'd like slam your shoe on the counter. So yes, I am the proud new owner. It will arrive by February 19th of a Sports Illustrated sneaker phone.
That's awesome.
I'm not going to do anything with it, but just like seeing it sitting there, I think is going to be fun.
That's absolutely awesome. I guess my question would be what is Etsy? I've heard, is that a legit site? Like what is?
Oh man, I'm like an Etsy power user.
I mean, like what is it? I thought it was like people making handmade shit.
I think that's the way that it started. But now it's the way that I think of it, or the way that I use it. It's more of like boutique-y type stuff, or antiquing.
Okay.
Or like custom one-off things, or like, hey man, I've got and this is an example of something that I bought. I love Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson comic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so these people that are really creative have gotten really sophisticated 3D printers, and they'll print a scene out of Calvin and Hobbes.
Okay, yeah.
And it'll print in color, and it's awesome. So it's kind of like stuff like that on Etsy that you're not going to find. Like I suppose you could Google it, and it'll take you right back to Etsy if you want to buy it.
Sure, yeah.
Right. So I've actually, another great example is some of the best gifts. Well, here's a good short story for you. Some of the best gifts I've given are I found artists on Etsy that will paint shoes.
Oh wait, you mean paint on your shoes or paint shoes?
Paint on shoes. So what
I'm asking you mean like on a canvas paint a shoe?
So you
just paint the actual shoe itself.
You just use the operative word, is because they'll do. It depends on the artist and the shoes they'll do, but generally it's like a Vans slip-on shoe.
Okay, yeah.
So an example is I've done this for two friends where I've commissioned an artist to paint a Vans shoe with very special things. But I'll tell you the quick story about my friend Jolene. Jolene only wore checkerboard Vans.
Oh, right on. Old school.
And she was very punk rock. for a number of years, she was one of the people that helped coordinate Burning Man. So like everything that you could imagine that goes along with that. That
Burning Man.
That was
so ridiculous.
Right?
Go ahead.
But she was a big Star Wars fan. So I had the artist do a pair of Yoda Vans and Yoda on one side and Princess Leia on the other.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And this is probably about 15 years ago. And she never wore them.
Of course.
She had them in a glass box in her closet with like all backlit and cool lighting.
Oh, yeah, right on. Yeah.
Well, Jolene passed away from a brain aneurysm.
Yeah, I remember you talking about her earlier.
So when her family went in to clean out her house, she was 43. When her family went in to clean out their house, that was the very first thing they took, because Jolene was famous for always wearing checkerboard Vans. Like that was her signature thing.
Yeah.
It could be like a black tie event and she's still wearing checkerboard Vans. But that's
clean.
That's the best thing, is because, you know, those Vans still in that glass box are sitting in the family's house somewhere. And it's a reminder of, the art's cool, but it's a reminder of, you know, someone that was very special in their life.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So, yes. And going to the shoe theme, as we've talked about before, I've got, you know, decades worth of just great memories that surround shoes. So that Sports Illustrated phone, and yes, I can't believe I had to describe how an actual phone works, but there you go.
I remember that one of their Sports Illustrated phones was the football.
Yes.
So it's a full football, but you know, half of it you pull off, and it's a phone. And that was also part of like, go get your. Every year, I'm sure it was a different thing. It was the shoe, there's the football.
Do you remember the Garfield?
Yeah, I do remember the Garfield phone. That was real popular.
It was popular,
but that was. But I mean, they just sold that in stores, obviously. But I don't know. Was that part of a promotion of some sort?
That was just an actual phone that was manufactured.
Oh, okay.
Do you want one?
I do not want one. First of all, I don't have any use for an old school phone. The second thing is, I'm not a big Garfield person. When I was a little kid, I liked Garfield a lot. It was, I think, my favorite character. But for some reason, as I became a teenager, I think, going back to Calvin and Hobbes, I found other things that I thought were much funnier, much more entertaining. So I kind of left, the Garfield behind.
You don't want to give people the number to your landline?
No, I don't have one. But if I did, I wouldn't give the number anyways. I already get enough fucking spam calls on my cell phone. Last thing I need is somebody calling a fucking landline. Especially on one of those old school phones, because you know that shit's fucking loud as hell.
Yes. There is no ringtone controller on those.
Yeah,
things.
and I mean, like, people, if you are, never been around an old school phone, I don't care where you were you could have a 4,000 square foot house and be on the other end of that house. If that phone rang, you fucking heard it.
Yes,
it's like a fucking fire alarm.
Yes. Oh, so good, so good.
I mean, I think if I were to get an antique phone just for display, it would have to be either one of those old school crank phones. But probably more my generation would just get an old school rotary phone.
Oh, those are the worst.
I know, and we want to talk, and you want to talk about fucking loud. An old school rotary phone, son of a bitch. Those things went off. It was like, it's like, is somebody calling my house, or is the fucking house burning to the fucking ground?
Well, there's two things about the old rotary phones. One of them was immensely frustrating. It was like when you would dial someone's number and you would get the last digit or two wrong, and you would have to start all over again with that.
Yeah, the whole concept. I know when the touch tones came out, it was, you could, obviously it was a game changer. But yeah, the old school rotary phones were a real drag. If you misdialed, you have to go start all over again. Crank it.
But they were indestructible. And one of the things that made it feel so good is if you ever had to slam the phone down, that was the phone to do it with.
Yeah, because you couldn't break that thing.
It was indestructible, man.
My dad worked for the phone company for years, and he was so old school. Like, he never even, I don't think he ever bought a cell phone before he passed away. And he passed away like 3 years ago. Like, he refused to ever get any kind of cell phone. But he was living in this apartment. And again, he worked for the phone company. So when he moved in the apartment, it was kind of thrashed up, whoever lived there before, and it didn't have a phone. So he, did whatever work he needed to get done on it. And he went and got a fucking old school rotary phone and mounted that bitch onto the wall. And I'm like, does that thing still work? And he's like, well, the way I wired it, it'll still work. But like, if you call like a company and you have to do go through a menu.
Yeah.
You're fucked. You can't do that. And I was just like, why are you doing that? And he goes, I don't know. He had the phone. It was he always had old junk, and it was just a perfectly good working phone. I don't need anything fancy. And eventually he did buy a touch dial phone. He can't live without it, but that thing still sat on the wall, and it went off. He had 2 phones, old school rotary and a touch tone. And when you're at his house and someone called his house, that fucker went off.
Yeah, well, those are rough, man.
Yeah, they're great though, man.
Do you remember? I don't want to get stuck on this topic, but this is a fun, another fun memory. Do you remember back in that era when you go to like, I'll just say old people's houses, and they had the touch tone phone, but the buttons were like 3 inches by 3 inches.
Yeah, the ones that were that was a part of a giveaway. And I'm not. You could buy those in the store too, but I remember it would be like AARP if you signed up for membership. They had a number of like gifts. If you sign up for an AARP membership, we'll give you one of these. And sometimes we're either hearing, for hearing. But yeah, one was the gigantic phone with each number was the fucking.
It's like the size of a table.
Oh, it was like at least the size of a full size saltine cracker.
Yes.
Each one was at least that big. Could have been bigger. Like you could almost like if you had like a club, you could play whack-a-mole and dial someone's number.
Sure.
You'd be like,
yeah.
I gotta call Jimmy. You'd be like 2 8 5 2 3 4. Like you could just with like the fucking mallet make the phone call.
Yes, you could. Or you didn't even use your mallet. You could just use your fist, and you would still only hit one key per strike. Yeah.
Yeah, you could practice boxing on it and call your friends at the same time. Just like throw a couple punches at it.
Man, did we just totally date ourselves talking about landlines and big phones and rotaries
What?
and everything?
I think we've done enough episodes where we've dated ourselves.
Yes.
I think
true.
actually it's all about being a dynamic human. See, I'm all about a lot of the new stuff. I got all that new stuff. I fuck with that new stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I do know the old stuff too. I like talking about that stuff because I think it's always a slow transition. Like there was a time when it was the fucking rotary phone. I remember that was the only phone in the house was an old school rotary phone. And you don't think about it, and it's a slow transition over decades. And now you're walking around, and I've got fucking smartphone, the whole thing, and do all the apps, and this is normal to me, right? But if you stop and think about it, like holy shit, at one time in my life, this was the only thing that was in the fucking house was this goddamn rotary phone, and it didn't seem weird.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, because that's just what you had. And I like even with my students, I'll tell them about this stuff, and I'm like, you can't miss what doesn't exist. So it wasn't like I'm a kid thinking like, where the hell is my smartphone? You don't even think about this stuff. But in hindsight, when you look at it, like, wow, we were really limited with our communication. And I always like to tell my kids, like, at one point there was like really 3 ways you could communicate with somebody. It was the old school phone, face to face, and by snail mail, like sending a letter.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's like back in the day, we'd get up like on a Saturday morning, and I'd like start calling all my friends, and it was always the same thing. You'd call, and the mother or the father would answer, and it's like, hi, is Jimmy there? Who's calling? Oh, this is Sean. Oh, hold on a sec. Jimmy, Sean. Right? Or if they weren't home, he's like, you're talking to the parent, like, no, Jimmy isn't here. Oh man, do you know where he went? I think he went over to Stevie's house. Oh, okay. I call Stevie up. Is Stevie there? No, he's not here. Oh, okay. Was Jimmy with him? Because I'm looking for Jimmy, and I was told by Jimmy's mom that he was supposed to be at Stevie's house. Oh, no, they were here. They took off on their bikes. Do you know where they went? I think they were going to the park. And then your ass is getting on your bike, and you're combing the fucking park.
Yep.
And then you see somebody you might know. Hey, have you seen Jimmy or Stevie? Oh yeah, they were here earlier. Do you know where they went? I think they went over to the store to buy some candy or something. Okay, and that seemed totally normal and like not a pain in the ass. But if that happened today, that would be like the most miserable day of my life, where I'm like having to call people. No, there's no texting. I can't. Like, I'm just having to call people and like, well, where's Jimmy at? I don't know. He took off with Stevie, and then I'd have to call a number that somebody else would answer for Stevie, but Stevie's not around. And I'm like, oh, shit, what the fuck? Yeah, that would be absolutely annoying.
But there's something magical about the old times, and like being on a quest and all of the adventures that you would go on and people that you would come across, and being in the park, combing back and forth and looking around trees for friends. Like, I think that's awesome, man. I
agree.
miss that.
I agree, but we got to experience that as a kid. As an adult, I don't know. I mean, again, to them it was normal too, and I think the expectations were a lot different. You know, if you called somebody's house and they didn't even have an answering machine, it just rang.
Well, life was
It's
slower.
like people didn't get upset or freak out. Like, I can't get a hold of someone. Like, it wasn't like that. But I can imagine the adults probably, but a lot of that was probably more of a pain in the ass to them, to kids. You know, yeah, it's a quest. I mean, half the time I didn't call anybody. I just got on my bike and I just rode off into the Wild West because it's, we're latchkey kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's like parents were like, they didn't, helicopter us at all. Matter of fact, it comes Saturday morning, it was like, hey, get up, get out of the house, go do something. And I'm like leaving the house. I have no fucking ID. I have no phone. I have very little money. I have like $2 on me and a bicycle that you pray to God doesn't get a flat tire somewhere along the way where you're stranded and have to, we got a flat tire. And that was all normal. But again, as a kid, that quest was, probably a lot more fun because I was a kid. Can imagine that being a parent, or not a parent, but an adult, and having to deal with that kind of shit. I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, bygone eras, man.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. I think that's one of the things you and I both do, I think pretty well, is embracing new technology, and I mean even to the bleeding edge technology where it's so new that it's going to be outdated tomorrow.
Well, I think you do that more than me because I just spent a half hour bitching about I still don't understand what the fuck why Instagram is popular. I'm like totally old manning again. Like, I don't really get it. It's like photos and captions. Like, what the fuck, right? But I mean, there's definitely you're definitely more on the cutting edge than me. But I've never shied away from technology, and I play with those things. But I do, I'm selective on the things that I like that give me some kind of benefit that I feel give me a benefit. And I think a lot of the new things that people really do like a lot are things that I say I don't get. When I say I don't get it, it's not that I don't understand how it works. I just don't get why people like it or why it's popular. And I'll give you the one for me is TikTok.
I was just going to say TikTok.
I just don't get it.
Nope.
And I know a lot of people are on it, and I know people have followings, and I understand the concept. I understand the concepts of all this stuff. You create a profile, you put out videos, people can follow you, you can get money, you can create, I guess, some kind of level of fame or whatever that would be. I get that part of it. I just don't understand on the passive consumer side why I would watch TikTok, because I see people just going out video after video, and most of these videos, nothing about them draw me in. Like, I'm not seeing anything that I'm like, what's that? Looks interesting. It looks really stupid to me.
Yep.
So, and people are like, well, you're just old. Well, yeah, I totally will give you that. But I want you to understand that I don't get it. It's more of I don't understand why people like it. Not that I don't understand what it is. And I could totally sign up for TikTok. And I'm sure I can do 6'7" or some stupid dance. And, great. Look at me. I'm doing it too. Yay. Follow me for more whatevers.
I don't want to be the guy that just says ditto, but the same thing. As soon as you're going to say the one thing, I was going to say TikTok. Because I have friends that, we're all the same age, and they're just like junkies on their phone with TikTok, like doom scrolling for days.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
And I even tell them, like, you guys know you can have a life, right? It's like sunny outside. You should walk outdoors, get some air, touch some grass. You don't need to be watching some dude in Guatemala walking around barefoot in a village. Like, I don't see what you're trying to accomplish here.
And there's a site that I like. It's a YouTube alternative. It's called Vimeo. And
is that still around?
Yeah, and I love Vimeo. It's mostly longer form, longer form, well put together, well thought out, videos. And YouTube's fine; they have that stuff too. But when I think for me, the shorter, the cheaper, the more meaningless stuff, I really just doesn't do anything for me. I don't want to watch Instagram reels. I'm not saying I don't see ones that I like and I think that are funny, but I would say 95% of them I just look at it and go like, I don't understand why anybody would like this. Like, I don't get it. I think it's okay, whatever.
Yeah, and the other thing that's kind of weird, and I don't know, we probably talked about this before one of our shows a couple months ago, but I've noticed on Instagram that the content is shifting more and more to just AI. Everything's got an AI tag. Even the people that help me with my marketing stuff on my work Instagram, like I've even had to shoot them a note and say, please stop AIing me, because it's not me. It doesn't even look like me. But also it's just like the content that, whether it's the feed of people that I follow, either personally or professionally, or it's even in my search. I go to look for something. I'm like, the whole 90% of it's AI. I don't want to look at that.
Yeah, that's interesting because YouTube is starting to. Well, they claim they're cracking down on a lot of the AI slop, because people will just generate these videos with some sort of catchy thumbnail and some title, and just to get clicks. Clicks, and they can, I guess, make money off of it. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it is, I think, very damaging to these channels. I don't think anybody really wants to watch AI stuff. And I have seen on at least Instagram Reels, the things that I get when I open up Instagram, a lot of it is incoherent people arguing or fighting, or straight out fighting, like people beating the shit out of each other. I see a lot of that, and then I do see a lot of Sora. Just AI, and some of it's random. Some of it's a bit kind of fucked up. Like there's one where I think it's supposed to be like a McDonald's restaurant, and a big ass rat runs across like the counter and falls into the fryer oil, right? And it's just like, yeah, it's AI, and I'm like, well, I don't know why somebody would create that. I don't know. I guess you think it's funny, or I don't know. But again, it's just garbage to me. Like, I don't want to watch AI generated videos. I would be interested in AI generated videos if I thought that there was something behind them, some idea or some concept. But I think people are making these things just, you can make them so fast. It's just like throwing shit up against the wall. I keep just telling AI to create something. Maybe here, how about cat plays banjo while falcons fly and shit on them, and maybe that'll go viral. Oh, that didn't go viral. Let me try car driving down road, splits in two, and a dragon comes flying out the trunk. I don't know. Let's try that. Like they just keep producing whatever it is they're producing to try to get something to hit, and it's so quick and so easy to put those things together that you could pump out hundreds of these things. Hoping, I guess, somebody, I don't know if any AI clips have ever really gone viral. Have you seen that AI? Maybe initially, because AI was so new. Like, did you see this AI? This is completely, artificial intelligence. That might have gone viral because people have been fascinated with it. Like the Will Smith eating spaghetti that was all freaky and weird looking. I know that kind of went viral, but not because of what it was. Right. It was because it was AI. And people were like, whoa, that was... Someone created that with artificial intelligence? Like, what the hell is that?
Did you see the one here from about a week ago where it's Brad Pitt fighting Tom Cruise on the top of a building?
No, I haven't seen that one.
And it's it did go viral, not necessarily because it's like super awesome, but it's you could sit there and watch it for 10 minutes, and then someone would say, "Hey, that's not real, right?" And like, whoa. This is now the shift in the industry. Like, we don't need to pay certain actors or whatever, right?
Yeah.
We can do all of this in a better format and more high definition and more real and more gritty and everything else. No real people.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could keep a franchise alive forever. The one thing about actors is they age. So it's like, we could, if Tom Cruise, I'm using, Cruise, at Mission Impossible, we can never stop making Mission Impossible because we can just keep Tom Cruise the age we want to keep him. Yeah, we can just do it forever. But then again, I don't know what the value that has. I mean, Tom Cruise can't be famous he's famous forever. He's iconic, but he can't be a box office draw for eternity. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I think you could. No, I understand that. I think so. I love Warhammer books. I think it's like some of the best writing, and we've talked about this. I'm a voracious reader and always have been. Dan Abnett is one of the authors of the Warhammer series, and his writing style, I tell Cookie, is like it's watching a 8K movie in my brain in 360. It is phenomenal. Dan is an amazing writer, but there's so many different facets of, like, say, the story that I'm reading currently, where it's like, well, you could do that in AI, and you could just make a whole series that would normally take years, decades to do, and you could just have the computer start churning, feed a book in, and end up with volumes of movies out the other end, and you could do it all in a very short time period.
Yeah, well, I've already seen some fan fiction where people are using AI to, offshoot TV shows. I saw a guy put together one for, I think it was Breaking Bad. And so they just offshot an episode and created an entire. It's like a trailer, so it's only a couple minutes long.
Is it cool?
It looked pretty legit. I mean, I could still tell it was AI, But it was, I mean, again, you're talking in another 2, 3, 5 years, it's going to get to a point where it might as well have been actual thing that was filmed. Like it's getting to that point. So I can see that definitely happening. And I can almost guarantee you that Warhammer, or it doesn't matter what series of books or an old TV show that's ended, or a show that was canceled too soon in the eyes of fans, and they decide that we're going to just continue and we'll create the stories and we'll continue this thing on. Or if you're not going to make a Warhammer movie, Hollywood, who cares? I'll fucking do it.
Right.
And I'll make it. Yeah, and I'm excited for that, because I think that opens the door for people who would never have the opportunity to create these things, because there is some, I think, fan fiction that, like, wow, that's a really good angle. I wish that was real. I wish they would make that. Yeah. And now they can. But the problem is that that's 1 out of every 1,000 people that probably have a good idea, and then the other 999 are going to churn out so much garbage that it's going to get swallowed up.
But I to that point, I think it's awesome that we don't, and when I say we, this is more of a cultural comment, that we don't have Hollywood as tastemakers and moralizers, right? I think that the control is in the hands of the public to determine what the content and what's cool is going to be. I think what an amazing time to be alive, that we're on the precipice of all these changes. Yeah.
Well, the only caveat I would add to that is you're right. At one point it was too few people that had total control of this stuff. But I think we're going to have the opposite problem, which is now going to be too many people have control of a product.
It's how you and I ended up on the radio.
They'll let anybody on the fucking internet.
Pay your $17.99 per year.
I have an important announcement for you, so stay tuned.
Yo, that's some next level shit, bruh.
So you got me. Big deal.
The internet's answer to a question no one asked. The Tilted Table with Sean and Joe.
Folks, thank you for joining us for another episode of The Tilted Table, the internet's answer to a question that no one asked. I'm Sean Kabibi.
And I am Joey Joe, the Fracky Mac.
And you can reach us at all major media outlets such as Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, The Tilted Table 1.
There it is. Hey, and I have a great idea for AI. We should do a video of ourselves fighting our evil twins.
Ooh, that would be sweet.
That'd be awesome.
As long as I win.
Yes.
Well, that means I always win if it's my twin.
Yes. Or do you lose?
Do I lose?